Devaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtike. So continuing with the discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 20. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs Sanatana Goswami in the science of the absolute truth. Text 157 onwards. Jnana Yoga Bhakti Tin Sadhanera Vashe Brahma Atma Bhagavan Trividha Prakashe. There are three kinds of spiritual processes for understanding the absolute truth. The processes of speculative knowledge, mystic yoga, and bhakti yoga. According to these three processes, the absolute truth is manifested as Brahm, Paramatma, or Bhagavan. So Brahm means Brahm Jyoti. Bhagavatam also says, Vadanti tattva tattva vidas tattvam yad jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagvaniti shabdyate. Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call this non-dual substance Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagavan. So those who are interested in the impersonal Brahman effulgence, which is non-different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, can attain that goal by speculative knowledge. Those who are interested in practicing mystic yoga can attain the localized aspect of Paramatma. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Ishvara Sarva Bhutana Hrideshe Arjun Tishtati. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is situated within the heart as Paramatma. He witnesses the activities of the living entities and gives them permission to act. So, depending upon which path we take, we have different destination. Brahma anga kanti tara nirvishesh prakashe surya yena charma chakshe jyotirmaya bhase. The manifestation of the impersonal Brahman effulgence, which is without variety, is the rays of Krishna's bodily effulgence. It is exactly like the sun. When the sun is seen by our ordinary eyes, it appears to consist simply of effulgence. Brahm Samhita says, Yasya prabha prabhavato jagadanda koti koti shvashesha vasudadi vibhuti bhinnam tad brahma nishkalam anantam ashesha bhutam govindam adipurusham tamaham bhaja. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is endowed with great power. The glowing effulgence of his transcendental form is the impersonal Brahman, which is absolute, complete, and unlimited, and which displays the varieties of countless planets with their different opulences in millions and millions of universes. So this verse is from Brahma Samhita, and in Adi Lila also, Prabhupada has given explanation. Paramatma yeno teno Krishnere ekansha atma atmara atma hai Krishna sarva avatansha. The Paramatma, the supreme, the super soul feature, is a plenary portion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the original soul of all living entities. Krishna is the source of the Paramatma. Krishna menam avehitvam atmanam akilatmanam jagaditaya sopi atra dehi vibhabhati mayaya. You should know Krishna to be the original soul of all Atmas, living entities. For the benefit of the whole universe, he has, out of his causeless mercy, appeared as an ordinary human being. He has done this by the strength of his own internal potency. So this is a quotation from Bhagavatam. Parikshit Maharaj, Shukdev Goswami, why Krishna was so beloved by the residents of Vrindavan, who loved him even more than their own offspring or life itself. At that time, Shukdev Goswami replied that everyone's Atma or soul is very, very dear, especially to all living entities who have accepted material bodies. But that Atma, the spirit soul, is part and parcel of Krishna. For this reason, Krishna is very dear to every living entity. Everyone's body is very dear to oneself, and one wants to protect the body by all means, because within the body the soul is living. Due to the intimate relationship between the soul and the body is important and dear to everyone. Similarly, the soul, being part and parcel of Krishna, the Supreme Lord, is very, very dear to all living entities. Unfortunately, the soul forgets his constitutional position and thinks he is only the body, Dehatma Buddhi. That's where the problem. Thus, the soul is subjected to the rules and regulations of material nature. When a living entity, by his intelligence, reawakens his attraction for Krishna, he can understand that he is not the body, but part and parcel of Krishna. Thus, filled with knowledge, he no longer labors under attachment to the body and everything related to the body. Janasa moho ayam aham mameti. Material existence, wherein one thinks, I am the body and this belongs to me, is also illusory. Because finally we have to come to this realization, we are not this body. Srimad Bhagavatam states, Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita. By rendering devotional service unto the personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from the world. So this is the side effect of, or benefits of bhakti, doing bhakti. And very soon it happens. Janati ashu vairagyam. Ashu means very soon it happens. Athva bahunetena kim gyatena tavarjuna vishtabhyam idam krishnam ekam shena stito jagat. But what need is there, Arjun, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. This is from Bhagavad Gita. So in 10th chapter, Krishna gave detailed information to Arjuna about his opulence. And then in the end he said, what need is there? His opulence in the material world. This is just a single fragment of myself. I pervade and support this entire universe. So what can we even know about Krishna? Bhakti Bhagavan era anubhav purna rupa, ekai vigrahe tare ananta swarupa. Only by devotional activity can one understand the transcendental form of the Lord, which is perfect in all respects. Although his form is one, he can expand his form into unlimited numbers by his supreme will. Swayam rupa tad ekatma rupa aveshana prathamaitina rupe rahena bhagwan. Now, this knowledge about his different expansions, incarnations, this is in so much of detail, it's mind-boggling. So I'm just going to warn you all before we get into this. It is like you have to read it again and again to even get some understanding what exactly is talking. Now, Swayam Rupa, Tad Ekatma Rupa, Aveshana, Prathamaitin Rupe Rahena Bhagavan. The Supreme Personality of God exists in three principal forms. So, Mahaprabhu explained upon Brahmajyoti and then Paramatma. Now he's coming to Bhagavan feature. So, three principal forms: Swayam Rup, Tad Ekatma Rup, and Avesh Rup. Srila Rupa Goswami has described the Swayam Rupa in his Laghu Bhagavatamrita, Purva Khanda. Sorry. The form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that does not depend on other forms is called the Swayam Rupa, the original form. So that does not depend on other forms. This form is also described in Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. Krishna is the original form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That Krishna's form as a cowherd boy in Vrindavan is the original form of the personality of Godhead, Swayam Rupa, as is confirmed in Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna. There is nothing superior to Govinda. He is the ultimate source and the cause of all causes. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, where the Lord says, Mattah Paratram Nanyat. There is no truth superior to. Now, the Tad Ekatma Rupa forms are also described in Lagu Bhagavatam. Yad Rupam Tad Abhedena Sarupena Virajate. The Tad Ekatma Rupa forms exist simultaneously with the Swayam Rupa and are not different. At the same time, their bodily features and specific activities appear to be different. Now, if we haven't started scratching our heads, we should begin. The Tad Ekatma Rupa forms exist simultaneously with the Swayam Rupa form and are non-different. But the bodily features and specific, because of the bodily features and specific activities, they appear to be different. The Tad Ekatma Rupa forms are divided into two further categories, Swa Ansha and Vilas. Lord Krishna's Avesh forms are also explained in Lagu Bhagavatam. A living entity, so this is it, Avesh forms is Shakti Avesh forms. The living entity who is specifically empowered by the Lord with knowledge or strength is technically called Avesh Rupa. As stated in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna Shakti Vina Nahitara Pravarta. Unless a devotee is specifically empowered by the Lord, he cannot preach the holy name of the Lord all over the world. This is an explanation of the word Avesh Rupa. Now further. Swayam Rupa Swayam Prakash, Dui Rupe Surati, Swayam Rupe Ek Krishna Braje Gopamurti. The original form of the Lord, Swayam Rupa, is exhibited in two forms, Swayam Rupa and Swayam Prakash. In his original form as Swayam Rupa, Krishna is observed as a cowherd boy in Vrindavan. So Swayam Rupa, so we had three, Swayam Rupa, Tadekatma Rupa and Avesh. So Swayam Rupa is again divided into two, Swayam Rupa and Swayam Prakash. So in his original form as Swayam Rupa, Krishna is observed as a cowherd boy in Vrindavan. That is his eternal Swayam Rupa, the most independent form. Now again further, Parabhav Vaibhav Rupe Dvividha Prakashe Ekavapu Bahu Rupa Yaiche Haila Rase. In his original form, Swayam Rupa, Krishna manifests himself in two features, Parabhav and Vaibhav. He expands his one original form into many, as he did during the Ras Lila dance. Mahishi Vivahe Haila Bahuvidha Murti Parabha Prakashai Shastra Prasiddhi. When the Lord married 16,108 wives at Dwarka, he expanded himself into many forms. These expansions and the expansions at the Ras dance are called Parabha Prakash, according to the directions of revealed scriptures. So these are not Vaibhav Prakash, this is Parabhav Prakash. Sobhari Adi Praye Se Kai Vyuhu Nae, Kai Vyuhu Haila Naradera Vismay Nahaye. The Parabhav Prakash expansions of Lord Krishna are not like the expansions of sage Sobhari. Had they been so, Narad would have not been astonished to see them. Okay. So this Parabhav Prakash expansions. So Mahaprabhu mentioned the name Sobhri Rishi. So Sobhri Rishi, if we remember, so he was doing his tapasya under the waters of Yamuna, and then he saw, for many, many years, he did his tapasya, but he saw two fishes uniting. So he developed that desire, sex desire. So he came out of the water and he went to this kingdom where the king had advertised his daughters for wedding, for swamvar. So he went and he asked the king, and I'm forgetting the name of the king. The king said, "Well, we have to ask the daughter," because he didn't want to say no to the rishi, because the rishi, after doing so many years of tapasya underwater, he wasn't in a very good shape. So Sobri Rishi understood that the king and his daughters might not like me because I'm not a good-looking person right now. So because of his tapobal, he changed into a beautiful, very charming young man. And the king had 9 daughters. So all 9 of them, they wanted to marry Sobri Rishi afterwards when they saw him as a charming young man. So he expanded himself into 9 forms. But the 9 forms that he expanded himself into, they were exactly the same. They were, all the activities was exactly the same for all the 9. Just like if somebody is speaking in a TV, then all the TV screens will have the same image, same movement, same words, everything same. But this was not the case with Krishna. Every form, although it's called Prabha Prakash, every form was doing different activities. And the example is given of Narad Muni. When Narad Muni went to Dwarka to meet Krishna, he went to each and every palace, 16,108 palaces. And Krishna in every palace was doing a different activity. And not only different activity, it was a different time of the day also in every palace. That's beauty of Krishna. That's his opulence. Because some place he was doing yajna, some place he was doing charity to the Brahman, some place he had just gotten up, some place he was having lunch or something, whatever you. That's opulence. And Narad Muni was same. But by mercy of Krishna, he could expand in 16,108 forms. Chitram betatad ekena vapusha yogapat prithak griheshu dviyashta sahasram striya ek udavahat. It is astounding that Lord Shri Krishna, who is one without a second, expanded himself in 16,000 similar forms to marry 16,000 queens in their respective forms. Sei vapu sei akriti prithak yadi bhashe bhavavesh bhede nam vaibhava prakashe. So Parabha Prakash we understood, now Vaibhava Prakash. If one form or feature is differently manifested, according to different emotional features, it is called Vaibhav Prakash. So Ananta Prakashe Krishnera Nahi Murti Bheda Akara Varna Astra Bhede Nama Vibheda. When the Lord expands himself in innumerable forms, there is no difference in the forms. But due to different features, bodily colors, and weapons, the names are different. So this is all the incarnations of the Lord. Anya cha sanskritatmano vibhinabhitena te yajanti tvan mayas tvam vai bahumurti ekamurtikam. In different Vedic scriptures, there are prescribed rules and regulative principles for worshipping different types of forms. When one is purified by these rules and regulations, he worships you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although manifested in many forms, you are one. So this verse is quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam. In the Vedas, it is stated that the one becomes many, eko bahusyam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead expands himself in various forms, Vishnu Tattva, Jeev Tattva, and Shakti Tattva. According to the Vedic literatures, there are different regulative principles for the worship of each of these forms. If one takes advantage of the Vedic literatures and purifies himself by following the rules and regulations, ultimately he worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mama Vartaman Vartante Manushya Partha Sarvasha. Worship of the demigods is, in a sense, worship of Supreme Personality of Godhead, but such worship is said to be avidhi purvakam, improper. Actually, demigod worship is meant for unintelligent men. One who is intelligent considers the words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sarva Dharmana Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam. One who worships demigods worships the Supreme Lord indirectly, but according to the revealed scriptures, there is no need to worship him indirectly. One can worship him directly. So, well, I guess we all must be confused enough, so we'll stop here. If we can go over these verses, the purpose again, that'll be great. So tomorrow more discussion will be there on Web of Prakash. We'll stop here. Any questions or comments?
अब मुझे अभी कुछ समझ नहीं आया.
I know.
दोबारा पढ़ना पड़ेगा. ध्यान से.
But the beauty is there is so much of detail. We don't know anything, actually.
Right, प्रभु जी.
लोग कह देते हैं ना कि अरे हमें सब पता है, कृष्ण कौन है, राम कौन है, तो क्या पता है? And then they want to debate on TV and in front of cameras. What do they know? They don't know anything.
बहुत कॉन्फिडेंस से बोलते हैं.
क्योंकि ऑडियंस को भी तो नहीं पता ना कुछ.
हाँ, ये भी बात है.
उनको भी नहीं पता. वो कहाँ से वो कहेंगे हाँ थोड़े से संस्कृत के वर्ड्स बोल दिए तो इनको तो सब आता है.
ज्ञान लेने वाले और देने वाले सब एक जैसे हैं.
एक्चुअली प्रभु जी इतनी सारी बुक्स है ना अपने पास, मतलब अथाह है. आई वुड कॉल इट लाइक देयर इज नो एंड टू इट. और कौन सा ऑथेंटिक कौन नहीं, देयर आर सो मेनी थिंग्स. जैसे मुस्लिम्स में होता है ना, कुरान है तो दे जस्ट फॉलो दैट, एक बुक है.
नहीं, कुरान है और उनकी हदीस है, बट उसमें भी डिफरेंट इंटरप्रिटेशंस आर देयर ना.
हाँ, वही प्रॉब्लम है प्रभु जी. तो अब वो होना ही था, बिकॉज इट्स सनातन है तो इतना पुराना है, तो वो आना ही था एक के बाद एक डिफरेंट.
हाँ वो तो
बस
है.
हम लोग लगे हुए हैं प्रभु जी सत्य की खोज में and to understand, the reality.
Yeah. Like other days, somebody who was with ISKCON, but अभी वो श्री संप्रदाय में चले गए हैं. So we are together in a group. So I had asked a question, कुछ question पूछा था. So he was explaining from Madhvacharya's philosophy. He's a learned scholar. So he asked me, "Have you read Madhva?" I said, Prabhuji, I haven't even read Prabhupada fully. I forgot about Madhvacharya. I don't think I have time or access or knowledge to read it. I'm happy with Prabhupada only. I'm completely satisfied. तो इतना कुछ है और उस पे भी अलग अलग आचार्यों की अलग अलग कमेंट्रीज. It's impossible to understand.
बस प्रभु जी भाव सागर से पार हो जाए और कुछ नहीं चाहिए.
बेसिकली तो ये यही है कि हमें सही रास्ते पे हैं. We just keep on following. That's
यस यस. अब जैसे प्रभु जी एक छोटी सी चीज, कार्तिक मास में जो दीप जलाते हैं, तो ये सारे रिचुअल कैसे प्रैक्टिस करने हैं, ये सब तो इसी से यहाँ यही सब सुन के पता लगा कि कैसे करना है. कार्तिक मास में वो दामोदर अष्टकम पढ़ना है और तुलसी जी के सामने दिया जलाएंगे के वो दिया जलाना चाहिए. ये सारी चीजें इसी से
हाँ,
सीखने को
ये
मिल रहा है प्रभु जी बहुत कुछ.
भाई इस्कॉन से पहले तो मैंने कभी नहीं पढ़ा था, कभी नहीं सुना
मैंने
था.
भी नहीं प्रभु जी, मैंने भी नहीं प्रभु जी. मेरे को तो काफी चीजें मिली हैं प्रभु जी इस्कॉन से, नो डाउट. मैं
Oh yeah.
मतलब भटका हुआ. आई मीन यू आर रीडिंग एवरीथिंग राइट, बट एक जो होता है ना कि एक माला करने लगा थोड़ा बहुत जो भी होता है और चीजें स्ट्रीमलाइन कर लिया, तो वेरी वेरी ग्रेटफुल टू इस्कॉन प्रभु जी.
हम
हाँ,
सभी हैं
यही
प्रभु जी,
है.
ऐसी बात नहीं है.
बिल्कुल
हम
बिल्कुल
सभी हैं,
माता जी, बिल्कुल
वी ऑल आर इन द
बिल्कुल.
सेम बोट. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है.
हमें
यार
हमें
पहले
वेद
तो कुछ
से,
भी नहीं पता था, कुछ भी.
हाँ,
हाँ
नहीं
वेद
पता.
के रास्ते पे चलना तो इस्कॉन से ही हमने सीखा प्रभु जी
वो तो है ही.
कि कैसे
हाँ.
वो को फॉलो करना
हाँ.
चलो, I hope we stay on this path.
Yes,
That's
sir.
all.
है.
Yes.
Okay, chalo. You all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Radha.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Jai Shri Prabhu.